Breaking news on ABC 17 News at 10. A shooting investigation is underway near McKee Street Park in Northeast Columbia tonight. ABC 17's Taylor Petras joins us live from the 1800 block of McKee Street. And Taylor, police say they found several shell casings there.
Yeah, Joey, Columbia police back on McKee Street again. Several times in the last just week they've been out here. Police tell us they found 2 shell casings here in the 1800 block of McKee Street. You can see behind me, police are still here on scene. Within just the last 5 to 10 minutes, the forensic van pulled away from the scene. We saw them out here taking pictures and looking for evidence. So in this incident, they say that so far there are no reported victims from this shots fired incident and no suspects at this time. Now, where I'm standing in the 1800 block is the same exact spot where 31-year-old Nathan Taylor was shot and killed less than a week ago. Last Friday is where that happened, and tonight would make it now the 5th call for shots fired or shots heard on McKee Street just in the month of September. For now, reporting live in Columbia, Taylor Petras, ABC 17 News.
Taylor, thank you. And we'll bring you the latest information about this shooting investigation on air and online at abc17news.com. In an ABC 17 News crime alert, police are asking for your help in finding a man who repeatedly damaged a Columbia funeral home. ABC 17's Barry Mangold joins us live from the H.T. May and Son Funeral Home in North Columbia. And Barry, this is the 4th time that funeral home has had windows broken out.
Yes, Joey, the owner tells me that the vandal typically breaks the same window over and over, so he replaced it with a harder glass. But the vandal's response was breaking 7 different windows, 4 on the van behind me, including these 2, and 2 on the other side, and 3 others on the building. But this time the owner caught him on camera. Check out the footage.
This is the 4th time he tried to break it, and he couldn't. That's why he got pissed off, I guess, because we put them different type of glass now.
Someone has broken a window at Thomas May's funeral home 3 times since the end of August. 2 nights ago, he tried to break it again, but it had been replaced with harder glass.
He threw at it 2 times and didn't break the window, so then he came back again and destroyed 4 windows in our service van and then 3 windows on the front of our building here.
This isn't the only building that's been left with broken windows recently. The funeral home was hit first August 29th. Just 2 days later, St. Paul Church called 911 for the same reason. And less than a week ago, J.T. Cutts Barber Shop called the police after several windows were broken around the shop.
The windows alone are close to $2,000 that we've had to replace. And then that doesn't include our service van and just the idea that someone's trying to intimidate not only us, but other people. And we don't know the reasoning behind this.
One neighbor that's lived by the church for 18 years says this kind of destruction is unprecedented.
For in an area that I've stayed in for so long, because it has become so community-oriented, to have a staple of the community violated like that is just, it's unfathomable.
And according to dispatch records, Columbia police have responded to 76 calls for vandalism since the beginning of the month. Reporting live in Columbia, Barry Mangold, ABC 17 News.
Thanks, Barry. If you have information, please call the police, or if you want to remain anonymous, you can do so by calling Crime Stoppers at 875-TIPS. Hot and humid conditions are expected to stick around through this first fall weekend. ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray joins us now with when it could cool down. Hi, Sharon.
Hello. I know many of you are anxious for some cooler weather, but it's got a few days to go yet. You know, fall begins at 3 in the afternoon tomorrow, and temperatures are expected to be way above average with 92 degrees. Normally this time of year, we should be closer to 76 if you look at 30 years of data and average out that temperature. But 92 tomorrow, certainly, though, it's not going to quite make it to the record high, which is 97, set back in 1937 for tomorrow. Cooler weather? Indeed. It is in the forecast. It's going to be a pretty remarkable change, too, as we see those temperatures drop quite a bit next week. These are high temperatures, so we go from 90 on Sunday to a high of 73 next Thursday, and factor in those cool nights dropping into those lower 50s. So yeah, it's on the way. It's just going to take a little longer for that weather pattern to change a little bit. Tomorrow still going to be a lot like it was today, quite warm in the morning, 70 degrees, 92 in the afternoon, and lunchtime weather already in the upper 80s with the heat index close to 94 degrees. So plan on that for your Friday. If you're heading heading to one of the high school football games tomorrow evening. Hey, and still no rain. Looks dry again. Nice weather to enjoy your favorite team as we drop down to 79 by 9. The weekend as a whole is just hot and dry. Mostly sunny skies, light southerly winds, a little less humidity as we go through the weekend, though, but the heat will make up for it as we hit 90 degrees. But we are going to see some changes. I'm watching this cold front out to the west. There is much cooler air in the Pacific Northwest right now. That's going to head in our direction behind that front, and that'll be noticed next week. Along with that, we'll see some rain. We have a chance of storms Monday afternoon and into early evening, and then that chance increases Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. So we'll get a little rain, some storms moving through, and then there's that cooler and drier air as we head through the end of next week.
Hurricane Maria continues to move through the Caribbean tonight. The Category 3 hurricane is blamed for at least 18 deaths on 3 different islands. Thousands of people living on the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico are still without power after the storm caused widespread damage and flooding. Maria is expected to strengthen before it hits the Turks and Caicos Islands tomorrow morning. A developing story tonight. Several hundred people are blocking traffic in downtown St. Louis tonight. Right now, demonstrators are gathering near Busch Stadium. Protesters say the group will continue to cause disruptions until its leaders see changes in the city's police department. Several days of demonstrations have followed that not guilty verdict of a white police officer charged in the 2011 shooting death of a black man. President Donald Trump announces a new executive order today that targets businesses that trade with North Korea. That order allows the U.S. to target sources of income for that isolated country, including fishing and the textile industry.
North Korea's nuclear weapons and missile development is a grave threat to peace and security in our world, and it is unacceptable that others financially support this criminal rogue regime.
Most U.S. lawmakers have encouraged the use of diplomatic options after President Trump threatened North Korea at the UN General Assembly. The Jefferson City Public School District will hold 3 community meetings next month. Those meetings come after 3 high school students posted a racially insensitive photo on social media. GCPS says students' actions have caused disruption at schools and in the community. The district says it'll release more details once it confirms the dates and locations of those meetings. We'll keep you updated. And tonight, a Jefferson City woman is accused of interfering with a weekend shooting investigation. Raphael Hickman is charged in Cole County with tampering with physical evidence. Police say surveillance cameras caught her picking up bullet casings after a shooting in the 200 block of East Franklin Street on Saturday night. At least 1 person was hurt in that shooting. The State Highway Patrol continues to meet with the community tonight. Right now, the law enforcement agency is in the middle of a 6-week Community Alliance program. That course is designed to show people how troopers conduct traffic stops, marine operations, and other topics.
Our criminal unit and the Division of Drug and Crime Control serves in an assist role. They actually get a little insight and see what it is that our Division of Drug and Crime Control has to offer.
It is expected to wrap up next month with an awards banquet.
Just ahead on ABC 17 News at 10, where the news comes first.
An Eldon High School football player continues to recover from a serious injury. We'll tell you what changes the state has made to help keep athletes safer. Coming up.
Right now is a critical time, and we're just praying for Hunter and his recovery, and we're just looking forward to him getting better and moving forward.
An Eldon High School football player is recovering after he seriously hurt during practice yesterday. Junior Hunter Bushnell broke his neck after a hard hit. He had overnight surgery, which we're told was successful. Right now, the Mid-Missouri community has started fundraising efforts for the injured player. You can visit our website, abc17news.com, to learn more information about that. Hunter's injury is one of the more serious injuries from high school football in mid-Missouri over the past few years anyway. Before tonight's breaking news, ABC 17's Taylor Petrus looked into how the state monitors injury numbers.
Despite the helmets and the pads, Injuries in football are bound to happen. While Eldon Jr. Hunter Bushnell didn't hurt his head in practice, his injury is still a serious one.
We always hate to see things like this that have happened. It's been a few years since we've had an injury like this in the state of Missouri.
In 2013, Tipton football player Chad Stover died from a brain injury after he was hit during a playoff game. Here's a look at the number of reported head injuries in football players in the past 6 seasons. Last year, football players accounted for 40% of all high school athletes.
So we haven't really seen a lot of increase, but we haven't, at the same time, haven't seen a lot of decrease quite yet because people are able to recognize it more easily now.
Jason West with the Missouri State High School Activities Association says changes have been made to the game to address the serious injuries. The first 3 days of practice are all about tackling technique.
Unfortunately, those changes have been made fairly recently, and so it's going to take a few more years for us to be able to tell, is that actually working?
For the past 2 school years, girls soccer and cheerleader have been the next 2 sports behind football with the most reported head injuries.
Well, there is much cooler weather out to the west. That eventually gets here. I'm tracking the cold front that'll bring that and the storms next week coming up.
You know, Sharon, autumnal equinox sounds like something that leads to heartburn, doesn't it? I don't know why. It's a strange name for fall.
It is. Well, I won't go
makes
into
it certainly
you know what I mean.
right.
Anyway, but yeah, it's tomorrow. The autumnal equinox is tomorrow
at 3.
Weather? It is, yeah. And we hit 92 tomorrow. And you know, the last 3 years we started autumn. We had the autumnal equinox come in warm with 84 in 2014 and 2015 and 2016 last year. We were up to 88, but the previous 3 years we were mild, starting in the 70s. I don't know how many of you caught the sunset this evening, but it was quite pretty. We had some high, thin cirrus clouds moving through. Let me put this into motion, and you'll see how those really accented the sunset this evening, made it nice and pretty out there as we had those warm temperatures to enjoy the evening. You can see those cirrus clouds bringing some of that orange color out this evening. So very nice night here. The temperatures are still warm. We're at 83 degrees in Columbia. It's clear and dry all across mid-Missouri. We did hit into those low 90s today, and tomorrow we'll have much of the same. So at the bus stop in the morning, it'll be mild again and hot when the kids are getting out of school tomorrow afternoon. And if you're heading out tomorrow evening, of course, those temperatures are going to stay warm. We have that large area of just very warm air over the country right now. Out to the west, though, you can see that marked change in the Rockies, where there's even a little snow coming down in the high elevations. Temperatures right now only in the 40s behind this cold front, which is going to continue to march in our direction here. So when it does, it's going to have behind it those cooler temperatures as well as that rain chance for Monday and into Tuesday. Now, Monday's shower and thunderstorm chance looks like it's going to be a better chance west of Highway 63 during the afternoon and early evening. And then we'll see Tuesday the chances increasing depending on the speed of that front. Forecast models are still not quite in agreement on how fast it's going to move through. But right now it looks like Tuesday afternoon and evenings are a better chance of showers and thunderstorms lingering into Tuesday night possibly. And if it slows down, we are going to see that rain linger into Wednesday, finally clearing the area Thursday. Higher pressure builds in Thursday and into next Friday, and that's going to clear us out by the weekend, and temperatures drop. It is going to get cool as nights will drop into the low 50s by next Thursday night. It looks like there could even be another surge of cooler air behind that arrives next weekend. So we could be talking highs in the upper 60s. But this weekend's hot and humid. We also have the Tigers playing Auburn at 6:30 at the start of the game Saturday evening. So you have yet another week with some warm, dry weather.
Everybody's saying the Tigers are going to win this weekend.
That's right. Keep our fingers crossed.
All right. A pharmacy chain with locations in mid-Missouri plans to limit opioid prescriptions. Today, CVS announced it'll limit scripts to 7-day supplies, 7 days for new patients. The company says it's an effort to help end opioid abuse. Pharmacists also plan to question doctors who prescribe more than the pills that are necessary. Last year, opioid abuse was blamed for around 64,000 overdose deaths in the U.S. A Columbia woman accused in her own child's death is expected to head to trial. We'll tell you when she'll have her day in court coming up. A Columbia woman accused in her child's death will soon head to trial. Demetrius Washington is charged with murder, assault, and kidnapping. Her trial is set to start November 7th. Investigators say Washington and another woman kidnapped her children during a custody battle. That happened back in March. The women later crashed on I-70. That's this scene right here. Washington's 13-year-old daughter was killed as a result of that crash. Tonight, 3 Boonville teenagers are accused of breaking out several windows earlier this month. 17-year-olds Joshua Teeter and Cameron Comstock are charged with property damage. Police say the teens drove around the city and used a slingshot to shoot out several windows of parked vehicles. A third suspect hasn't been identified due to their age. In world news tonight, the death toll continues to rise after an earthquake in central Mexico. At last check, more than 270 people have been killed after Tuesday's 7.1 magnitude earthquake. Rescue operations continue in Mexico City for victims who are trapped underneath buildings that have collapsed. Thousands of people are either in shelters or, in some cases, just homeless. Closer to home, former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders visits mid-Missouri today. The independent senator from Vermont spoke at Westminster College in Fulton, about 30 minutes east of Columbia. Senator Sanders covered several topics, including his favorites, universal health care coverage and free college tuition. Westminster also awarded the lawmaker an honorary degree, a Doctor of Political Science. The Missouri Attorney General will announce new steps to battle sex trafficking next week. Josh Hawley is expected to speak in Jefferson City on Tuesday morning about the creation of a new business coalition. Back in April, the AG also announced new regulations that target sex traffickers. In an ABC 17 News traffic alert tonight, Boone County drivers will find overnight ramp closures. Crews have closed the westbound ramps at the Highway 40 exit near Midway. Both on and off ramps are expected to open back up tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. The project's part of a resurfacing work on I-70 from the Missouri River Bridge in Rocheport to Lake of the Woods exit. Mizzou football is preparing for its toughest opponent yet. ABC 17's Tyler Murray explains why the tight ends may be the Tigers' the key for them this weekend.
Sports Zone starts now, driven by Toyota.
Missouri's offense likes to move fast under offensive coordinator Josh Heupel. However, last week that hurry-up offense seemed to leave the tight end core behind. Over the first 2 games of the season, the Tiger tight ends caught 4 touchdowns. Against Purdue, they failed to get a single catch. Head coach Barry Odom says Jason Reese, Albert O, and Kendall Blanton have to have a bigger part of the offense against Auburn. Mizzou and Auburn's kickoff is set for 6:30 over at Faurot Field. The Auburn defense has given up just 10.3 points per game this season, and the Tigers know getting good looks for their tight ends has been difficult already.
The way the teams are playing defensively a little bit, they're aware of where they are, but we've got to be able to either stretch the field with them a little bit more or get them a couple more opportunities because they got a chance to help us with the ball in their hands.
It's not really dejected just because it's game 3. Obviously we're not happy with our performances the last 2 weeks, but it's more or less a sense of urgency has to be heightened because there's 9 games left, and we want to make the most out of those in the last 9 games. Yeah.
Mizzou soccer's 3-game win streak came to an end tonight. The Tigers lost to Mississippi State 3-1 despite Tess Relihan's 5th goal of the season. Mizzou will be home to face Texas A&M Sunday at 5 p.m. The Hickman Cupie volleyball team was back home taking on the California Pintos tonight. The Cupies won a big match over Battle last week, looking for more of the same tonight. First set, California trailed big early, but the Pintos fought back. They got a point here to tie things up at 23. The Cupies would hang on. Off the Cupie serve, Abby Hinshaw is at the net for the big block. Cupies take set 1, 25-23. In the second set, the Cupies would drop it, but they'd go on to win 2-1. Head over to the scoreboards. Helias volleyball improves to 18-2 with a win over Rockbridge. North Callaway softball shuts out Silex 11-0 as its starting pitcher had a no-hitter, and Hannibal softball beats Fulton 8-3. Even though the Cincinnati Reds are 20 games below 500, they have the St. Louis Cardinals number this season. The Cardinals are just 7-9 against the Reds, trying to turn things around tonight. The Cardinals were 2.5 games back on the wild card going in tonight, looking to cut into that. First inning, Cardinals get up to a great start. Jose Martinez, a base hit to right. Dexter Fowler is going to score 1-0 Cards. Now 1-1 in the third inning. Fowler at the dish. It's going to send this ball to the warning track in center field. 2 runs are going to come around to score as the Cardinals win 8-5. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Royals were on the road taking on Toronto. Jason Vargas looking for win number 17. He'd get some help from his defense. Alcides Escobar flips this to second. Whit Merrifield does the rest. Beautiful double play as we take another look. Nice little flip by Escobar, and there wasn't a lot of offense in this one. The only run of the game came in the third inning. Melky Cabrera gets an RBI to left center field, and that would be the difference. The Royals win it 1-0 now. 3 back on a wild card, Joey. Good news for both Missouri teams, Cardinals and Royals.
Looks like it's back on track.
Yep, we'll see. Still a few games left in the season. Both teams still on the outside looking in.
Now this weekend, will the Tigers pull it off? And I mean the Mizzou Tigers, not the Auburn Tigers.
That's the million-dollar question.
Tyler, thanks a lot, and we are back in just a moment with another look at your forecast.
Tomorrow starts off warm. We end up hot in the afternoon. The heat index up to 97.
All right, Sharon, thanks. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night.